Map of the Falkland Islands with Argentina's forever. That is a straight face. I'm pulling right now, straight. I will not spark fury on this trip. This is the new me, the smart me, the clever me. Hammond, does this car, does it do 1,158 miles an hour?
Yes.
Really?
No.
So it isn't 6 times faster than the Nissan GTR?
No.
But it costs 6 times more?
Yeah, it does.
Why?
Well, it's made of exotic materials.
It needs to be. It needs to be made out of myrrh. Is this windscreen wiper made out of saffron?
No, but there's a lot of carbon fibre.
Hammond, my bog seat at home is made out of carbon fibre. It didn't cost 340,000 quid. Honestly, I just don't understand this car. But hopefully, our tame racing driver will be able to make sense of it. This one, OK, they say, which we've got a picture of it here, OK, they say that is going to be the next S-Type. It'll look exactly the same as that.
Well, if that's true, that's fantastic news. It looks brilliant.
No, it does. I went to see it in the flesh the other day, and the designer was there, and he said, I assure you, the S-Type will look exactly like that. If that car comes out like that, I will cut my left leg off, beat myself to death with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Do it. Make it. Just make it.
Now, well, you're not listening to the film?
Yeah.
The speed of this is beyond anything I've ever experienced. It's animal savagery. It's beyond belief.
Yes, but the Porsche might be faster.
Well, it won't be.
Yeah, but it might be.
No, but it won't be.
But it might be.
I guarantee it won't be.
But it might be.
Hammond, I'll do you a deal. If the Porsche is faster round our track than this, I will change my name by deed poll to Jennifer.
Really?
Yes.
Promise?
Yes. Jaguar is out of the game and will never get back in again. Bugatti is now owned by Volkswagen and is planning to make big saloons like this. And McLaren's next road car will be a big Mercedes.
We were looking at a new Ferrari, and Jeremy said, rather crudely, I thought, that it had no arse. Well, now we have another one. It's the Alfa Romeo 8C Competizione. And look at the arse on that, Jezza.
Oh, that's a gorgeous-looking thing, that is.
No, it's hideous.
No, you're wrong. It's gorgeous.
It's quite promising.
That's
4.2 litre
horrid.
V8.
It's horrid.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful-looking thing.
No, have we got that?
But you know, people often come up to us and say, when will Top Gear end?
About 3 minutes after us three have set off.
Yeah. In a big fireball.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to see that?
Right, let's move on. Because
And you have, if my eyes are not deceiving me, a Range Rover.
The best 4x4 by far, as we know.
I had one of those.
Yeah, classic. I had one as well.
Yeah.
Did yours ever work?
No.
Right, now there is an organisation called the New Economic Foundation which has said that all 4x4 vehicles should come with a health warning, like a box of cigarettes. We've got a picture. 4x4s make you impotent. Whatever. They're saying that by 2020, the 4x4 vehicle will be the 3rd biggest killer on the planet.
I'm getting fed up with this. James, they're tough.
yeah.
Some viewers don't know this, but Lotus does not have a good reputation for quality. Some say that this stands for lots of trouble, usually serious. Look at it this way. The whole of Croatia is watching this, knowing that you're going to do it for them.
In 52 seconds' time, you're going to be whatever the equivalent of a hero of the Soviet Union is, but in modern-day Croatia. They'll have a name
not
for
just
it.
Croatia,
Well, no,
it's the whole
spreading out.
Eastern European region.
Yeah.
You have got a lot riding on your shoulders, Richard Hammond. A lot.
You will be on a coin.
Thank you,
His
guys.
His face will be on a coin.
Or a stamp.
Oh, I'm quite nervous. I'm suddenly nervous.
Because my challenge today is to drive this thing and hit this innocent-looking little button. Because when I do that, it sends a flame shooting through the engine, which ignites the afterburner. And when that happens, I haven't got 5,000 horsepower. I've got 10,000 horsepower. And possibly the biggest accident you've ever seen in your life.
I bet when you said that, it was one of those... Pathetic. Very pathetic. And I bet when you said that, you thought it's one of those snappy lines to make this look a bit more dangerous than it really is.
It's exactly what I thought when I said it.
Come on! No, don't! I hate working on Top Gear. The final encore. Bye-bye, Zonda. Bye-bye. This is the most exciting, the best looking, the most expensive and the fastest road-going Porsche ever made.
In the back.
Wait a minute. Didn't Porsche say a while back they were never going to make another 911 Turbo?
Actually, they did in the 90s. They did say that. Yes.
Exactly. So not only are they crap engineers, they're liars.
Oh, hang on. You cannot level crap engineers at Porsche.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. They haven't evolved. They had one idea and then they just produce it for year after year after year. I mean, you've got to move on. Look at this show. Maybe we can edit that out.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll edit that out.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, and yes. So what you're saying is Porsche had an idea and stuck with it.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I respect them for that.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on to proper news, shall we?
Something else.
Yeah. Oh, now, yes.
On a sort of serious motoring note, it is rumoured, this is business, that VW might buy Porsche. Then that bodes well, because VW can make a good-looking car, good-looking sports car.
I tell you, people who have off-road cars are stupid and mad. They should be driven from the roads and birched to within an inch of their lives. Off-road cars are daft, antisocial and idiotic, and the people who drive them are fools. This is mine. It's a 4-litre, 24-valve, 6-cylinder, 2.5-ton... what's the word? Monster. It was designed to take on Africa. But I use it here, in Oxfordshire.
Well, that's as maybe, but, and as I aim to demonstrate later on in the show, battery-powered electric cars will soon die altogether.
No, we are looking forward to that film. Well, I am anyway. Now, however, we don't know of another car in the pipeline, with the exception of the Bugatti Veyron, which may never happen, which is ever going to be able to beat that. We just can't think of a thing that's coming that could get close to that time.
That's unbelievable.
Now, you know the Bugatti Veyron? Are you familiar? Yeah, it's this Volkswagen bought Bugatti and said, we're going to make a supercar that's got 1,000 horsepower. Which sounds great, but they haven't yet worked out how such a thing might be possible.
They just said it.
They just said it. Anyway, they're still working away on it. Now, the people that were making all the sort of perfume and the leather wash bags that were going to go with it, Bugatti branded stuff, got bored with waiting, so they're all starting to launch the stuff. And the latest, right, is this watch, OK? This is a Bugatti Veyron watch that I'm wearing.
Very nice.
OK? Now, you can't see the face there because when you hold the steering wheel, OK, like this, see? That's where the face is. Because when you're holding the steering wheel, if you don't want to look at the clock on the dash for whatever reason, you can look at your wristwatch without taking your hand off the steering wheel.
Hey, that's...
Guess how much it is?
No idea.
£1,000? 140,000.
No!
And it's absolutely hideous. The ridiculous thing is that trying to do it up, it took 3 men. 3 men to help me put it on. So I was like, how does this clip work? Because honestly, you need a butler to tell you to work that out.
That's 140 grand for a watch commemorating a car that doesn't exist.
And never will exist.
That's amazing.
Oh,
To say the French really are very, very good at this sort of thing. They say no to sporty, firm suspension and extreme performance, and instead they give us this more sort of considered, philosophical approach to luxury. I really, really approve of that car. Watch it flop.
I'm sorry, but just imagine waking up and remembering you're Mexican.
that'd be brilliant. It'd be brilliant because you could just go straight back to sleep again. Oh, I'm a Mexican. I'm a Mexican.
All I'm going to do all day.
That's why we're not going to get any complaints about this, because the Mexican embassy, the ambassador's going to be sitting there with a remote control like this. They won't complain. It's fine. Oh, now 7% of accidents are caused by excess speed. 7.
So you've got to ask yourself, just what are these speed cameras for? If they're not putting them at accident black spots, and even if they were, it's been discovered that only 7% of accidents are attributable to speed. What are they for? Well, I can tell you one thing we know about them for certain. Last year alone, they raised £73 million.
So what are we going to do? That's the big one. What are we going to do? Well, simple fact of the matter is, when the police get your photograph, they send you a letter saying who is driving the car at the time, and British law at the moment says you have to tell them. But we're in the EU, and European law says you have the right to remain silent. So really, we face a simple choice. We either join the EU, in which case we lose the Queen's head from the money, or we stay where we are and lose all our money. Obviously, the first question is the big one.
Yeah.
You have moved from McLaren to Mercedes. Is that not a bit like moving from Manchester United to West Ham?
Well, firstly, thanks for the warm welcome, everyone. How you doing?
Don't change the subject.
Good to be back. Yeah, no, it's a big change for me, obviously, but I'm really, really excited about it. You know, everyone is criticising it, and everyone has their own opinions. But you know, for me, I've been at McLaren since I was 13. It was a long, long period there. And, you know, I wanted to change. I'm a risk taker. That's how
There's a risk and a risk, because McLaren have won, what, 182 races? Mercedes has won...
Yeah.
1 in 5 years. So what makes you think...
Well, they won the championship, didn't they?
Well, it was actually
It was Brawn.
Well, technically not. Have they told you that? Well, we've won. Oh, now, big story this week, of course. When the Berlin Wall fell over...
As it did.
We all thought the Russians had come over here, buy potatoes, shoes, perhaps. But who knew? They bought the south of France, they bought Chelsea, and this week they've bought TVR. Now, we think, yeah, they have. They have. We think this is a marriage. It's very sad, obviously, because, you know, another British car manufacturer has fallen into foreign ownership, but Russian TVRs. I mean, think of the names. You got a black car, Red Star, TVR Spetsnaz.
Yes. TVR Molotov.
TVR Kalashnikov.
TVR Gagarin.
Yeah, the TVR. They got a really thirsty one called the TVR Yeltsin. Think of that.
See where you're going with that? That's a good name. Mid-engined, it's only a 1750cc engine, but it's turbocharged, so it will be quick because it's so light. And it looks, I think that looks fantastic.
It's wrong, is what it is. What Alfa Romeo should make is a small convertible two-seater, engine at the front, rear-wheel drive, and they could call it, I don't know, the...
Spider?
Spider's a great name.
Good name,
and then maybe they could get Dustin Hoffman to appear in a film and to etch it into the world's consciousness.
Yes, they could do that. They could live in the past. Or they could make something modern and forward-looking instead.
No,
like
rubbish.
That. What if you two had been at Alfa Romeo when they came up with the original Spider? Oh, that's no good. Where's the horse in front of it? It's not made of wood. That'll never work. It's modern and forward-looking.
It's not modern. It
We're getting ahead
won't
of this year. I'm looking forward to it.
Make it go away, because I've got something more important to talk about. Do you know what I love about this most of all? Is they haven't fallen into the same trap that Porsche fell into with the off-roader, the Cayenne. Because that, OK, they've kind of got a supercar 911 nose on the front and then an ordinary car on the back. So you look and you go, wow, it's Kate Moss. And you look down the side, oh, no, it's got John Prescott's arse. This...
From every angle, it just gets better looking. It is magnificent.
It's just staggering.
Please make it.
Anyway, that is not going to work. And do you know the worst thing about this is Jaguar was working, we know, on an F-Type, a two-seater to a modern-day E-Type, and they cancelled that project because they'd spent all their money on a diesel engine.
Don't do a diesel, please.
Oh, dear. Right, now, of course, with this, the Bentley Continental GT, it's not my cup of tea, if I'm honest, but if you live in Cheshire and you have to travel great distances at high speed in Drinks Globe luxury, it really is in a class of one. Oh, now, there are some new cars that have been coming out in recent weeks. There's this new Honda Civic Type R, got a photograph there. Now, you look at that, you know that's going to be a great car to drive.
You do.
You just know by looking at it, OK? Right, no, anyway, so I want that to go away. I don't want to see that car ever again as long as I live.
But you know,
and I never will, actually, because nobody's going to buy one.
What are we going to talk about now?
Blue-blooded, real horsepower. Thanks to emission regulations, this is probably the last V12 engine that will ever be made. From now on, they'll have to be smaller and turbocharged like they are in the Noble and the McLaren.
No!
It is nice. It's unbelievably nice.
Terrific. It'll never look anything like that at at all. In
No, well,
reality,
I
surely.
thought that, so I rang Vauxhall up and I said, look, is it really going to look like that? He said, yes. If it doesn't, can I eat your dog? And he said, yeah, OK, you can eat my dog. I promise you, the three-door Astra, apart from the back end, which will be a little bit different, will look like that.
It's fabulous.
Absolutely fabulous. But that's why I think that is going to be brilliant. You know, the thing is, OK, it'll go like a 911, cost about the same as a 911, but you don't have to be a moron to drive one. Like James and Richard both.
Really?
We are back at work, aren't we?
We are back at the playground.
We are.
Yeah. Has anybody else, just because I think it's only fair, there's a lot of Formula One fans. Anyone got any questions they'd like to ask Danny while he's here and we're talking about Formula One?
What does the back of Lewis's car look like? Did you see that?
Anyone else got another question?
They're only making 500 and they are all sold. But I think that's better looking, actually. Maserati.
No, Maserati's better. Put the Maserati back up. There,
I
that's
think
better.
the Alpha's better looking.
No, I'd have that.
Well, why don't you ask Christian which she'd prefer?
Big news. Ford has announced, because they've never sold the Mustang officially in Britain, OK, since 1964, they've announced that the next generation of Mustang coming next year will be built with right-hand drive and will be sold in Britain.
About time. Brilliant. Good news.
There is, however, a tiny bit of bad news.
What?
Well, the V8 version will be sold in America, but because we're only British, all we can have is a 2-litre EcoBoost engine.
Oh, for God's sake! Do they think we want that?
I can't understand their logic, because, I mean, if you want a Mustang, it's because you want a big V8 muscle car. There's no other reason for buying one.
Precisely.
So if you want a 2-litre EcoBoost car, you're going to buy a Golf diesel.
Not a Mustang.
It's like saying, I formed a punk band. We've got the cellos. Except for Sebastian, he has a harp. Nobody wants a harp in a punk band. Nobody wants a 2-litre EcoBoost engine in a bloody Mustang.
You can keep it, we don't want it.
Yeah, you just keep it. Keep it. Now, James.
Yes, a car I'm really looking forward to is the new Saab 9.5. Here it is.
Unless, of course, Saab went bust in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, God, which is a real possibility.
Yes.
Tell you what, no, seriously, James, really, do this 2 ways, we'll edit it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
OK.
cover yourself.
A car I'm really looking forward to is the new Saab 9.5. There it is. A car I was looking forward to was the new Saab 9.5. That's what it was going to look
No,
like.
They said.
What?
They said.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
They say, or said, that it's based on a jet fighter, or was, but it wasn't. It's actually based on a Vauxhall. You can get a 3-engine, or you could get 3 engines, or maybe you can get 3 engines, the best of which was or is a 2.8-litre V6. That was started about £25,000 and looks great.
Do you know what, James? Why haven't you got a Saab?
Because they've gone bust. But if they haven't, then it is a very good question, because I do actually quite like a Saab. They're just a little bit alternative, and they tend to be driven by quite interesting people.
Well, there you go. That's why he hasn't got one then.
Hilary Benn, the Environment Secretary, has been on the television this week and said that he thinks the rise in fuel costs is a good thing because it will encourage people to use their cars less.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much. Let's not worry that they've closed all the post offices, the schools, the pharmacies, the doctors, everything in my area, because I can always drive to the nearest town. No, I can't then.
I'll tell you what this is. I'll tell you what this is. This is from Chapter 1 in Left Wing Dictatorship Handbook.
Oh, God.
No, listen, it is. Stalin, OK? First thing he did, limit movement. Second thing, ID cards. Know what I'm saying? Third thing is curfews. Red Ruth this week in Cornwall, curfew. If you're not at home by 9 o'clock, you're down the Lubyanka. Gordon Brown will pull your fingernails out. You mark my words. We've just proved Gordon Brown is Stalin.
Oh, good news.
What?
More good news, actually, for you. Because a while ago we saw, well, Vauxhall showed us the new Astra. Well, at least what they said it was going to look like. We've got a picture of it here. Now, that we all agreed, I think we are all agreed, is a fantastic-looking thing. And Jeremy said, well, if it looks anything like that when they make the real one, I'll eat my hair. And the good news for you, Jeremy, is it looks like this. Oh.
So it's safe.
It's safe.
Yeah, I mean, they send us a load of stuff on it.
But you must be very looking forward to a right-hand drive Mustang, Richard Hammond.
Yeah, you'd think. No, not really. Because I don't want a right-hand drive Mustang. Once it becomes right-hand drive, it's like it's trying too hard to be British and sophisticated and something it's not.
I know what you mean. It's like when Americans come over here and start using words like bloody.
Yes,
Isn't it?
It's exactly that.
It is, and they say, I'm going to the bloody pub.
It doesn't sound right. That's the...
Exactly, it is.
Or they say mate.
But do you mind awfully if I just run a few cars past you?
Yeah.
Establish their coolness. This, OK, obviously this is very cool.
Yes.
Gee whiz.
That's
Cool.
fine. I haven't got my specs on though.
I'm sorry, mate, you described it as a wart last year.
No, it is beautiful. It is beautiful. The only problem that you might find is getting into it. And a rainy night, you have to choose between windscreen wipers and lights.
You see, that isn't in the brochure. But I would just like to say, when I said it was a wart, I was thinking more in terms of Cindy Crawford's beauty spot.
No, but I love this car. I absolutely love this car. It's absolutely brilliant for London, so...
Thank you very much.
Very, very cool.
And that's very cool. And we've also said this kind of thing, red bend.
Oh, I love that. Show it to me.
How do you feel now?
I may have accidentally said in the past it was a Cheshire footballer's car, that.
But it is.
Well, that's cool.
But it's fabulous.
Golf.
4 years of your cool wall has just been destroyed.
Hammond, I wish the Americans ran a decent sport. If they got Formula One, it would be fantastic because they would say, look, let's have sprinklers coming on at random points during the race, and that would be fantastic. And there'd be no more stewards' inquiries, and there'd be no more of this, oh, you got a 10-second drive-by penalty, because that just ruins the race. They say, OK, Hamilton and Massa, you don't get on after the race, in your boxes, on the winner's podium, slug it out.
Yeah.
I would watch that. Would you watch
I'd watch that. That'd be brilliant.
I would watch that.
I get it.
Anyway, we must do the news. And that is pretty much the end of the show. Looking at the bus lane. No, still nothing going on there. I think next week we won't bother doing anything to do with the environment. In fact, I think we might kick a couple of barn owls to death just for fun.